How you going, people? I got a couple little, I moved it over here so I can see better. Still got a couple 3%er signs out here. I'll probably, we're meeting with the, this region of 3%ers, and so I'm probably going to bring those to that and just kind of do a little giveaway or something. This is a little close, but I want to be able to get that. So what I got here is, well, I can just bring that in, I think. I'll film it today. So I want to try out this Waterlox stuff. Man, this place in Sanger, this sawmill, that's all they use on their wood, and their wood looks stinking great. And I find it hard to believe that's all they're using. So I found this little, I guess it's a little cutting block, like a little garage sale. Those little, I don't know if they have those all over the place. You go in and everybody rents a little square and everybody sells their junk, and you kind of walk around. I think they call it like a flea market mall or something. I don't know. But this was, I don't know what they wanted. I got these two for like $5 each, maybe $6 each. Just kind of flat piece of wood that I'm going to try and sand down and stain. It's got a little bit of marks on it. I don't know if it was used as a cutting board or serving. There's still little ridges maybe on here. So I'm going to smooth this down. This one's got some rough corners. It's got a couple of nicks along here. I might reroute it to make it smooth. And this will be my little carrot chopping block for the horses. I can grab this and cut my carrots up, or if I'm cutting up their sweet potatoes or something. And this Waterlox supposedly is like food grade ready. And then I figured these grips are kind of, I mean, they're kind of stained a little bit on this little 1911. Oh, he put his finger in the front. Oh, he got the barrel. Oh, call the safety police. Shut up, you big dummies. I know it ain't loaded. I think. Yeah, it's not loaded. Shut up. So anyway, I'm gonna Waterlox these just these grips here. Take these off and see what it does. So I wanted to do a before and after. Let me zoom in over here where I got some light, and we'll do a before and after view so people can see it versus when I'm finished. Alright, so I got this light right above me here. So here's the gun grips before on the gun. Oh, he pointed the gun. Shut up, you big safety Sally crybaby. And then here's the whatever it is, cutting board, serving platter. I think it's bamboo. So I kind of want to see what this does. And I'm debating on whether to put this on my saddle stand or my M1 Garand stock. I'm using linseed oil on them right now. I got a little piece of tape here that's bugging the crap on them. All right. And then this one underneath the wood, this is what it looks like before. And then I'm just going to sand them down. And then I'll turn it back on when I put the coat in. Because if you watch videos on this, they say put this on with fine sandpaper. You put this on here and then you sandpaper it in, and they said sandpaper works with what you're removing. The little dust that you're removing actually goes into the pores and creates a more solid, smooth seal. And again, they say you can use this on cutting boards, and it creates a coating that's elastic but hard, and they said it usually takes 3 or 4 coats. So we'll see. I'll make little clips between each one. First, I'll get the sander out. I'll get those grips off, and this will be like the start. Okay, so we're finished. I sanded that down on all sides, sanded that down, and sanded the grips down. Took the grips off the gun. Put the screws on that magnetic thing so I don't lose them with the little Allen wrench. Take it off so I can put it back on. And I'm going to blow those grips out and wipe them down. Get all that sand dust or sawdust off them. And then I'm going to be using, let's see, I first did 100, and then after I did 100, I used a 400. And this one got some pretty good little scratches in it. and I can't really get it off. It's bamboo, so I don't know how deep they are or what they were using. But there's some pretty good scratches on there, and supposedly sanding this with that Waterlox while it's on there will help fill in these scratches. So you can see what the scratches look like. Hopefully you can. And I'll give a different angle there. See if you can see the scratches. I mean, it's pretty smooth. It feels nice. This one smoothed out nice. Got some good smooth, did the edges. I still got to remove some of the sawdust before I put. But since I'm going to be sanding with it, a little bit of sawdust isn't going to hurt it because I'm making sawdust when I sand it. So I'm not real concerned about removing like I would be if I was lacquering or polying. So I wipe most of it down. These little grips, what they'll look like is blow off some of that dust. Wipe some of that off. Use my handy wipe cloth. And then that's kind of the color of the wood now. And then once I blow this out with air, I'm going to put that Waterlox on it. And we'll see how it comes out. So next step is I'm opening a Waterlox and using the sandpaper on them. Alright. You know what I wanted to mention. I buy almonds or cashews, peanuts, whatever. I eat a lot of nuts, and these jars are great for, I've got my like earplugs in that one. And your rubber gloves, believe me, I learned this as a cop. If you leave your rubber gloves in a car or out where moisture or air can get to them, they dry out and they crack. And then you try to put one on 6 months later, and your fingers go right through the holes and all the fingers fall off. So keeping them in an airtight area will prolong their life. That's a tip from many gloves. That weren't mine. The government was paying for it. You stupid taxpayers were paying for it. But so I didn't really care if they went bad or not. But since I paid for these, I care. See, that's the difference between government and people who pay for their own stuff versus using other people's money. But I digress. Back to the Waterlox thing. Okay, so that's I just did the top part of that, and I'm going to do the top part of this one and show you how to do that. So I just kind of poured a little bit of this on here and let it drip on over here. I should have got a syringe or something because this shit's kind of expensive. But we'll see how it goes. It looks like I got quite a bit on here. So I'm going to go ahead and do the sides because I got so much excess. And again, Waterlox has little videos on this. Somebody's going to go watch that video and go, well, damn, you should have watched it before you start. Whatever. Look, these are little bitty pieces that I'm experimenting with. I'm expecting some mistakes. Wish there was a way, man. They could really use a better way to pour that. I got that big ass cone there. Somebody's going to tell me an easy way to get around that, I'm sure. So I'm going to go ahead and use my gloves and just make sure I get a good coat. Now they call this self-leveling, so once you get it in, it smooths out. And again, I'm using a 400 sandpaper. And you see that plastic on the back that's kind of melting off? Obviously, they didn't cover that in their video. I was finding plastic. I'm like, what the hell is that? So on the final coat, I'm going against the grain. If you see me go in a circle, there's a couple little spots that I'm trying to fill in with sandpaper and this stuff, this Waterlox. And then on the last pass, I'm going to go with the grain. So right now I'm just kind of making sure I get good coverage. Oh, that got pretty good. I should just be doing that with my fingers. Now they did say oxygen is the enemy of this stuff, so once you use it you should plug it up right away, because oxygen starts the hardening process or whatever. So I probably should close that lid, but I'm going to be finished here in a second. If I was doing a big one, I would pour that. All right. Not a whole bunch. You can already tell how it really brings out the wood grain. I love the way the wood looked on this sucker. And you know what? I'm just going to give it a hand rub down and see if that'll self-level out. I'm going to move this back here. Hopefully I don't have any high points. That one absorbed a little more. Now I'll do the, and I'm just going to do these little guys by hand. I don't even know if I'll, hopefully I'm still in a damn camera. Well, those look pretty good. That made the color and shine come out nice. I'm not going to use sandpaper on this because I already used it. So I'm just going to let that dry right there. Dip my finger in there and that pretty much did this. Again, this first coat, they say takes 2 or 3 coats. I'll go ahead and see what this looks like. I don't know how this is going to dry since I set this on the wood. It'd probably be better if I had it sticking up on things, but I can redo the back. The back I'm not that concerned about anyway. It's called Waterlox because it protects from water. So that's the main purpose of it. I saved my little lid when I took this off. To go back on a little metal lid, I took it off very carefully instead of ruining that to keep the air out. And they say if you squeeze the can to make it to get all the air out, your Waterlox will last longer. So I am squeezing the can. And I've squeezed a few cans in my day. They weren't metal. So this is raisioning the fluid level. And now that it's close to the top, I'll put that little sucker back on there. Screw the lid back on there. Now we'll reverse thread to make sure I get a good. And I don't have a good thread. And hopefully that will, man, I wonder if if this sucker needs to, maybe that was my problem. Come on, can, there we go. Now I got it going. Take that off, can't squeeze. Got all this out. There's a little bit on the top here. I'll just spread that on the old workbench. See what it makes that look like. It's supposed to be some protective coating. So you saw how much I used, not a whole bunch. See what this little spot looks like when it's done. And that's it. We're letting it dry. Hopefully I was in the damn camera. think I was. So that's what the grips look like. And again, I got my M1 Garand that I might put this on a stock. That's what the cutting board's looking like. And that's what the bamboo's looking like. And wait for the next one.